wishing I would, but I don't have a heart. Should I?
He really was. You gotta remember his name too. Smoke Cloud. Hey everybody. I think you're live. I don't know why my phone's so low. Can y'all hear that?
I can hear it.
You hear it loud though.
Now it's kind of low.
It's low. See? That's what let me start streaming. Let me see what this gonna do. Why even my phone is low? You know what? Is you hearing it right here?
No. I hear it closer when you put, yeah.
Wow. Why is my phone so low? So we got, Lord, I can't even look at it. Hang on, I'll shout him out in a minute. What was it called, Miss Johnson? Y'all saw it. Smoke Cloud 517, follow him.
The song? What's the song called?
No, his name.
Oh, his
This
name.
one is posted on the page. I forget what it's called. Hmm?
I'm looking.
I don't know what I did. I don't know what I did with my notes. I'm unorganized.
It's all right. He on here and it's in the group. So
I'm getting it.
y'all can see it. Y'all can see it on the chat. Am I gonna miss something? That's awful. I'm gonna get this hooked up right, y'all. So
You know something? We still in the crawling stages, and this is life. You know what I'm saying? It's a work in progress. There's steps to greatness.
Yes. I just had that name though.
I think I got the mic and everything hooked up the right way, so I could probably play it louder later. I promise I'm gonna get this right, y'all. You know, I'm working on it.
That's crazy. It's like it disappeared.
Yeah, I was having a hard time with my Facebook on my phone too. It just had a mind of its own today.
Are you?
Oh, his name was Smoky Clouds 517.
Thank you, ma'am.
That's it.
Thank you. So, yes, shout out Smoky Clouds 517. Follow him on YouTube. We will be featuring his music today. And I'm gonna get it together because I got this mic hooked up. I promise y'all I was working the other day. Whatever. But we're gonna play it louder later. Welcome to LadyTales.
Welcome.
I don't know where
Welcome.
UKILA is, but she had better get on here. But welcome, you know, I'm Tia, the CEO of the Cover brand. Ladies, introduce yourselves. And we have a special guest, Miss Sasha Lewis.
My name go ahead, T.
Oh, I was saying hi, I'm Tania. I'm a nutritional advocate, educator. I'm here with the ladies on the team, along with, go ahead, Jocelyn.
My name is Jocelyn, clinical mental health professional, just offering some, down to earth tips and strategies to help you navigate through life, any kind of issues. But I also just want to say, if you are having mental health issues that are causing distress in your life, please reach out to a mental health professional, whether that's a therapist or a coach. Don't suffer in silence because you are your best asset.
Right. Hi, everyone. I'm Sasha. I am a parent leader and advocate. I'm a lover of everything handmade. I am a champion of sisterhood. I am a lover of food and food loves me. It's wonderful to be here.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. So you know what the subject is.
Uh-oh.
I'm here and we're going to go through. So tonight we are talking about Ain't You Black Too? Ain't You Black Too? And where this came from was, I sometimes get in trouble assuming that just because they got everybody, you know, people with black skin can, you know, we all relate to the same thing, you know, or I feel like we should at least have some baseline in common, whether it's oppression or other. So I've ran into, of course, y'all know my situation in Jamaica with the B word. And then I've ran into, you know, people here, you know, who you might see, you know, your African friend from school who only hangs out with the white people, you know, or, you know, your supervisor or other, you know, who seem to relate, you know, more with the white people than you know. So we got Miss Sasha Lewis here. We got the team, and that's what we're gonna be talking about. I yield the floor.
Who's up first?
Miss Jocelyn, you want to get, well, actually, we can let our special guest, Miss Sasha, dive in, or Miss Jocelyn can give a little.
It's all, you know, it's all about a lot of times perspective, right? And I don't know a lot about, you know, the Caribbean or, you know, Mother Africa, but it's just perspective of how we see each other. And sometimes we look at how we're different more than how similar we are, right? As looking at us as women of color who have, you know, the same experiences, but maybe how we respond to them could be different, right? You know, and sometimes, you know, they do potentially look at it from a slavery standpoint of, well, you know, 2022, you should be further ahead. You should, you know, be more free. You should be more outspoken, whatever the narrative their moms give to them in relation to us. But if we don't have that discussion, if we don't have open dialogue to find that connectedness, there's always going to be that sense of there's us and there's you, but society sees us all as Black. And so even though we have our own different cultures, all people, you know, all society wants to see is the color of your skin. But we have to get to the point where we empower ourselves. But that goes with cooperation, right? Collaboration.
True.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
The experience that I had, because I work with in the healthcare as a CNA, and it was lovely melting pot. I was like, we were Black, everybody dark, you know, skin color. So I was American though, and I had Jamaican, Haitian, Nigerian, Ghanaian. And,
what the hell is it? I mean, I don't mean to laugh if anybody's Ghanaian that's listening in, but where's Ghanaian from?
Ghana. From Ghana.
Oh, that makes sense. Ghana.
Yeah.
You see,
and it was amazing working with everybody because I have a centralized personality. So every time somebody, like whoever I sit with, like, oh, you from here? Are you from here? Like whatever. So anyway, it was amazing to sit with them. But yeah, I just noticed that culturally it's just different. Culturally, there is so much difference culturally that we don't relate as, you know, you're American and I'm Nigerian, because over in Nigeria we do it this way, and Americans, you guys do it that way, you know. But I noticed one Jamaican girl I work with, and she was like, you know what, my husband came home and he told me that he finally sees what a Black man has to go through, like a Black American man. He saw the difference between the Jamaican. He said, because a lot of times the narrative is, and I had the liberty of not having those conversations with those women, but when she and I talked, she said her husband said, she said, because we were like, oh, why Americans act like that? They're so lazy. All the opportunity they have over here. Yeah. You know, there's a point though. All the opportunity that they have over here, they should be able to be further. What's going on?
Mm.
She said until she saw him give impartiality because like the of that he wasn't an American Black, that he had a different opportunity. And in certain things, and it's because I don't know what it's because, but what I thought between our conversation was because they have different things provided for them than we do, like as far as help wise or you know, loans wise or whatever, you know what I mean? She said he was like, oh my gosh, I didn't understand the fact that they didn't have the same type of opportunities that a immigrant Black would have, because immigrants have different,
and then the best of the best get to come over here. The best of the best get to come, and you gotta have a little money, I believe.
That's true, because I remember, they used to turn over boatloads of Haitians. Yeah, you're right, because everybody that's coming here, they're putting themselves under the American rug because they're doctors. They got like so much great things that they're on their own countries, what I learned from the Nigerian and stuff like that. But they're doctors, teachers, this CNA, the whole family of doctors, whole family of lawyers, you know, and everything. And then come and just get the American opportunity that's here that we don't see because we're born and raised here. We don't see.
And maybe they appreciate it because, like you said, they're coming here to say, look, let me get this opportunity and this money for this education and this money and to take care of my family and things like that. Where we feel like we born here, we've been here, we see what other people getting, and we sitting more like, you owe us, not, oh, I got to hustle harder. But Sasha, let's get Sasha in, please.
Thank you for having me as a part of this conversation. And I love it because I've experienced both sides. So I grew up in a predominantly Black society. And what I notice here is that the expectations are different, right? There are lots of stereotypes that go around about Black people in America. And I think that was intentional. So when we talk about how we relate to each other, understand that we're reacting to a system that was set in place. So when you hear from another Black person, like we're all being fed things that we're gonna have to like sort through and decide, is this truth?
Ooh, Sasha, girl, I needed
So the experience is totally different. Like I grew up in a society where, like Tania was saying, like you saw the full range of what Black people could do and be. And the expectation was you're going to do your best. We're going to support you in being your best. Like there wasn't like, there didn't have to be tons of money for people to see you and be like, you're going to do better. I'm going to hold you to being a great student. You're going to do your best at school. We're going to support you in doing that. And we're going to find more opportunities for you. What I see here, especially raising my child in this society, is that there are not a lot of, there are intentional spaces created for Black families and people, right? But that has to be intentional because we're in a society that's majority non-Black.
Correct.
Right.
So
exactly.
To have to create those safe spaces for us.
Correct.
And then when people come here, we come with a different idea because of the propaganda, what we see on TV, what the stereotypes that were sold to us about Black people. So like Tania said, when the husband spoke about that, because he lived it, when people see you, they react to you based on your skin color. And I always say America is like a special, like an incubator.
Yeah.
Right? It was intentionally created to produce what it's producing now. So if we define ourselves as Black people in the context of what America.
You got to say it again, Sasha. You're going in and out.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can you hear me now?
Oh, very clear.
If we define ourselves as Black people in terms of what America was created to be, we're always going to be at odds with each other and we're always going to be at a deficit.
Yes.
So we're going to have to examine our relationship with each other and who taught us to relate to each other like that, right?
That's what we're trying to do. Woo.
Because this is not who we are. This is somebody else's interpretation of us.
That part. Exactly.
And that's why we relate to each other in like a really disjointed manner. Because like Miss Jesselyn was saying, we are more alike than we are different,
Thank you.
right? We absolutely are. Even though sometimes we speak different languages, like when you peel it all back and the
Mhm.
things that we value and in the ways that we are and like our morals, right?
Mhm.
How we relate to nature,
Yeah,
how we be with each other across cultures.
that's true. It's
We
so
are
true.
so alike
True.
that if we peel those superficial things away, you would know. If we went to Ghana, if we went to all different parts of Africa, if you come to Jamaica, I'm originally from Jamaica, you're
Mm.
gonna see somebody who reminds you of somebody in your family.
Hell yeah. I went for my birthday, girl. Yes.
Mhm.
We
And you
are
go say, oh,
connected.
that looks like the lady who I grew up with down the street. Like
Yeah.
we literally, you will see faces that you're
Mhm.
familiar with, even though you're in a land that you're supposed to be foreign to, but it's not
Mhm.
We are
far.
connected.
Right.
Yes.
We are all so
Wow.
connected. So I just want us, like when we're having these experiences, understanding that this is what we were fed
Mhm.
and who benefits from that narrative. It's not
Exactly.
us.
We all
Not us.
know.
It's not
Right.
us.
We
We all
all
know.
know. And that's why we're losing. That's why we got 2,000 in savings compared to the average white family with 200,000. Like we really
Mhm.
need to work together. And we have so many qualities and so many resources just within us and so many ideas. That's what we're doing this. Oh my God, I'm so glad you're here, Sasha.
And I love
Me
Sasha, you're
too.
you're Jamaican from
I
Jamaica
am. Yes.
originally. So like originally the Caribbean islands, like we were all, we were dropped off all over the place, but the Caribbean is like right there from, but and I don't know if you had this experience, but like the African, Nigerian, and things like that. I have a very dear friend. I invited her on today, but she's
Is she
got
in
a
the
lot
chat? Maybe
going on.
anybody watching the chat?
I don't know, is Marie in the chat? But she has a lot
Hold
going on.
on. I'll see.
But we were having, I can remember where we were sitting, who was in attendance and everything. And so she was explaining to us, because she loved it, we were all friends. And she said, it's crazy. She said how she was told when she came here, you make sure you stay away from those Black Americans. Make sure if you want to prosper, make sure that you stay away from them, that you don't be, friend them. And she's, friends with everybody. She's helped us. We've helped her. And that just stuck with me because I knew, like, I knew there was something, like, because why does I get along with everybody? So I personally have not had it personally to me happen, but I've seen how it can happen. I've seen that the judgmentals and how it's, even it's crazy. She said how away from them that you don't be, friend them. And she, oh, that's Akila. That threw me
That
off.
was me.
I
I'm
heard
sorry.
myself
I'm
talking.
getting on the
I heard myself talking. I'm like, wait.
That's all right. Get on and look at the chat. But what Tania
like
was
Sasha,
saying was, oh, go ahead. I'm sorry, babe.
I was just saying, did Sasha experience anything like that? Did anybody saying anything like that to her about
to her?
Black? Yeah.
Have I experienced any? Well, yes.
Oh,
I
okay.
know, and it's not that somebody told, but like what the stereotype is, it's so clear that of how Blackness is defined in America.
Correct.
It's very clear and apparent.
And it's so awful.
And
it's
everybody
like
signs off on it. And the worst part of it is that we internalize that.
Yes.
And we
it's
act
not even
in a-
true of the average
not.
Black woman.
Listen,
No, well,
we are as human as any population. And so we span the full. Can you hear me?
Now
I can hear you now. You ain't moving around, is you, Sasha?
I am. I'm like getting very
into it.
like we are human beings. We are as human as any other population. So everything that exists in humanity, it exists in Black culture.
Yes.
Or existed with us first and spread throughout all the cultures. So,
right. Right. But there is a narrative that is being spread about Blackness. And until like I personally, coming from a different culture, didn't understand that because the culture that I had, I mostly felt affirmed.
That's the thing.
And that's that village that we miss, a lot of us.
No, but we have it. We have it here, but it's within the context of resistance to whiteness, as opposed to being in the context, I think of, and let's be clear. There is still challenges all over the world within
Yeah.
all cultures, including the African cultures, the diaspora, right? We still have our challenges, but when you're coming from a space, and I think here, of being constantly bombarded and attacked, and a story is being created about you and then sold worldwide, that's a different type of challenge, because before people encounter you, they have an assumption of who you are.
That part, yeah.
That is
And the
very
worst,
true.
the hardest part of it, especially as a parent, is seeing other children as young as you are, right? We know about the doll studies, about the white
Hang on now, I don't know, Tim.
Okay.
doll and the black doll.
Oh
We
yeah,
know
yeah,
about
I seen, yeah.
and so as young as children are, they're being fed
Yes, program.
negativity about blackness,
Who they are.
right? So it's like, even that's the worst part, because even us examining ourselves and being like, okay, am I operating from a space where I've internalized negative messages about self? Right? Go ahead, Tanya.
I'm just saying, and we don't recognize it in our culture that's happening. Like you explaining outside, like it's such a epiphany to everybody, but it's so crystal clear, and we do not see it that way. We as a
can't,
culture
because
do
we're
not-
swimming in the water. We're swimming in polluted water. So
It's
like
hard
it's
to see.
outside
normal.
eyes.
It's normal, right? It's
It's-
normal until you go somewhere
Yeah.
else and experience something
That is
different.
true. I had an
What-
attorney tell me, she said, there's nothing like leaving this country and looking back. There's a total different outlook and experience that you will have. And that's why travel, people, if you can travel, get together, travel, and it will
Travel-
expand your outlook. That is very true.
It's so important for us to go experience, because you're going to go experience cultures of people that look like you, right? And operate in different ways in every place. But one
Yeah.
thing that I think we see, I see, are the strengths that are here that we take for granted, because we're always trying to look at somebody else's culture.
Wow. Wow. So what would you define? What do you think our culture is? Because I can think of different things, and different movements, but when I sit and get my hair braided, I was sharing this. I had a flash one time of like me in a village with these women, Black women surrounding me with this language that I wish I knew, but I felt like I known at one point. Like it was really a moment, and I felt like I missed something. The outfits and then the language and the culture and the connectiveness. And then like Tania was saying, we see that and want to be a part of it. And sometimes some people don't want to, share it with us. Or feel like we are misappropriating when we do it.
No, but we're all from the same root. We're all from the same tree. We just landed in different places, and so we express it differently. Because what you are talking about is culture. No matter where you go in the world, you're gonna see Black women together doing hair.
And that brought me
So
to
you didn't miss it. You didn't miss it. We just have to examine self and value the things of how that shows up in our own communities, because it's here. It's very much here and alive. But the link was broken.
When they talking, I wish I knew the language. I'm just saying, I'm missing something. Go ahead.
And Sasha made me think. Me and Mary had went to the Bahamas one time. And when you was talking about the faces and the people, soon as we got off the boat, there was a Bahamian older man standing there. He was selling something. I forgot what he was selling. But he was like, you're a Bahamian. And I'm like,
wow.
No. No.
You better do a DNA.
He said, I know a Bahamian when I see him. I said, well, maybe, somewhere down there. but he
Girl,
just
wow.
insisted that I was a Bahamian.
That is
I
the
said, okay, it could be.
We're gonna have to do DNAtest.com or what was
Right.
that one? And go back and visit. I found out, well, see, my daughter did that ancestry DNA, whatever she did, whatever it was. I forget which one it was. But Jada really wanted to do it for her for like Christmas. So I bought it for her. And she was like 80% Nigerian, and it was a maternal test. So right, that means that she get that shit from me, right? I carried the one, like, did
That's
I
right.
calculate that shit right? So I'm like, I was so excited to know that. And then it's crazy because now when I go to check a box, I write in Nigerian, bitch. Like it's, and then I want to go back and visit. And I was looking up like Nigerian women and how they are, trying to see if we the same, but one thing that I'm curious about is like, okay, because you go to college, you're definitely gonna bump into some smart people from not here, right? Why does it seem like they can relate better to the white people than us kind of relating? Is it because of the fact that they look up to the white people in some way, or we're told not to fuck with me, so they automatically hanging with them? And do they like what the white people be saying? Or they playing a role?
I think it's more of by us being here. I don't know for a fact, but I think it's more of us being here. We got to see firsthand the sneakiness, the underhandedness, and with them, I don't think they see or
They still
as
trusting. They
much.
don't know
Yeah,
yet, right?
it's like they're still trusting in them. When
I
we
agree with
gotten
that.
to a point where, nah, we know.
And some villages act like, ooh, beautiful, white skin, it's something different. So
I agree with that, with both of those, but and a lot of it is program. I have two things. One, I think is program, as far as what Tia said. That's programming entirely, and we are so easily programmable. I don't know. That's a whole other thing I'm trying to look into about why, but we've always been, and we've always been giving. We gave Columbus, jewels and stuff from off. Anyhow, but that's programming. But some people know what they're coming to America for. Like Sasha said, America is for, we don't see it
and
because we're here.
opportunity. Yes.
Right. So we're in it, like Yukila said, in it, the grind, but Sasha said they see it. So an African's going to come, an Indian guy that I used to work with even, he came, he said, yes, I came here, I'm going to be a doctor, I'm going to make the money. I'm building my house in India, I'm going to go home, and I'm going to live there. Darn if I'm going to stay here. They know what it's for. We don't know what it's for because, like Sasha said, we're in the struggle of it.
Because where the hell we going to go back
when
to,
they
Detroit?
come, they're going to make friends with people that's going to help them get the opportunity. They're going to talk to you. They don't know. They don't. You're the Black American. We know that you guys come from the ghetto and don't have everything. No, I like you, my sister, but I got to talk to Sally.
You know where to get
Sally
it from.
might, have other opportunities for me. Not everybody. A lot of friendships could be genuine. I'm not saying that everybody's doing that.
Yeah, most. Yes, most.
Why is that happening? It could just be because they're just doing their thing that they're doing so they can get their money, get the opportunity, the financial part.
And also, I believe that they are more easier to go along with the flow. Remember when the Chinese people was getting punched in the face and their culture was to not say anything, just, keep your head down, do what you got to do to make it. Where we are here, we built this, our ancestors, we know what happened. And I think, at least me, I don't know about the rest of y'all Black people, I feel like they owe me some shit. And the foreigner
but
might
there's a lot
like,
of different reasons why. And I feel all of those things.
But would you say that it could also be because other cultures, they have a better grasp on their culture generationally than we do, where our culture is continuously being destroyed, trying to be rewritten. And so
anytime you punish for standing three together,
it could be that, because they have a better sense of who they are and how they fit into where their land still have that connection. But for us, our land is always being taken, never given back. So
Mm.
every time we plant roots, it's we're always being uprooted and having to start over again
Wow.
until you find where we collaborate and we're able to build a sustainable cultural space, I'll say.
I think
Wow.
I think it could be all of those. And as I get older though, and I see gentrification, I see just different things, and I just know I believe everything that you guys said. And then also that economic opportunity has a lot to do it, and they have to stay focused. There's people that are dependent on them here, to help back home, or
Mhm.
whether it's
Yeah.
for food or whether it's to build the house. So they came to America for a purpose, to do things, and so
Yeah.
if the white person, it's not like they probably go and say, this white lady got my nerves, or whatever, but you be like, well, why is she acting like she's privileging the white lady over, it's not like they're
Sorry. I had
playing,
this other
party
thing
and
on.
playing.
Trying to look at the
And
chat
why
like
I
you
and
know.
why I can't, and
That's
why
an
you are I
interesting
can't,
perspective.
that I said.
Yeah, that's
Go
an
ahead.
interest
Yeah.
because I want to say that yes, it's definitely a lot to do with a state of mind, right?
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
And I think definitely a lot to do with a state of mind, right? I
I'm
think
sorry. I'm watching it. Let me turn it down.
I think a part of it is absolutely like when you come from a place when you're affirmed, your perspective is different.
Hell yeah.
Mentally, emotionally, but like I don't what I will say is I don't see where I heard a perspective before that says something about like your culture being eroded and redone. That's experienced across the diaspora, right? We're fighting that battle. Like it looks a little bit different.
Mm-hmm.
It might look like more like class as opposed to race when you're in a predominantly Black culture. Like there's still those battles that comes around power, that comes around economics, that comes around self-determination, right? It manifests a little bit differently, but it's still there.
Wow.
Right? And you're right. Like when you go to a different place and you see more than you've grown up with, it looks like opportunity. When you see a place or you get to go to a place that has social infrastructure and social supports that you can rely on, it might look a little bit differently than, is either you go figure it out or there's nothing. Right? So the approach might be a little bit different, but I still see here, I think it's because number one, the education system does not really teach us about our culture. And we don't necessarily do the work because it's a lot of work to go learn about the history,
It's a lot of work.
to learn about all the names, to go read all the books. Like we have to be intentional about connecting the dots for us, about documenting the stories in our families. Like one of the things I see differently for my daughter than I grew up with, my heroes, national and otherwise, were the revolutionaries. They looked like me. They fought for me. They gave voice to communities that look like me. The people who are upheld here as heroes and celebrated were the oppressors.
Yes.
So my sense of self might be different than my child's. And so I have to go figure out, how do I infuse her and give her the story of our ancestors and not the story of somebody else's oppression.
That's
true.
Right.
We
That's
have
true.
to do it at home.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Like, how do you raise someone of another culture in this culture of that I never even considered that. Like,
wow.
You have to be strong. That home life has to be strong because we get it. We are walking around here dizzy because of that. Born here, right? I get it.
Continually being fed.
Yep.
And other people are, when you look outside and other people are, you're drinking from that polluted water. Other people are also drinking from that polluted water. And then everybody's in agreement that this is who you are. And then your
Wow.
story about who I am, your I amness,
Mhm.
It's wrong. No, you know what? Then we find
it's not
identity that
whole
our
and it's not a
behavior.
good picture.
Mhm.
So we have to go back to who we are and the people who fought for us
Mhm.
and tell our stories of our grandparents and their
Mhm.
parents before them and our history of
Mhm.
resistance. And then
Mm.
try to create that link, like you said, like you did that DNA. We might not have all the links to the chain,
Mhm.
but we know it goes back, and it's gonna take work for us to piece that back together. But
That's
we've done amazing things. Even this, like Black people are amazing. They literally
Yes.
are like a
And
miracle of
we
life.
are.
A
Way
miracle of
beyond the
life.
5 people they tell us about. Way beyond the 5 people they tell us about in Black History Month that I just don't even mention anymore. I stopped telling my kids about, you know, except for Martin. I came back around to Martin Luther King because we have to be,
Mhm.
we have to get the real story behind Martin Luther King, because that
Mhm.
was even
Yes.
hype,
Yes.
You gotta
you
read.
know. You
You
gotta
got
read.
to the people who
Reading is
we
fundamental.
do not take somebody else's interpretation.
Mm-mm.
They
Mm-mm.
wrote their own stories. Let's go do the work.
Yes.
You have to do the work.
Wow.
Because he tells you in his own words, I don't need somebody else to make a documentary about him.
Mhm.
Because then you have to ask the question, like, what's the motive?
That
Because
part.
all they
Mm-mm.
ever talk about Martin Luther King,
Because
how
the motive
peaceful
was
he was.
peace. The motive was, please don't beat our asses and rise up.
Right.
And don't come
I
and do
agree.
to us what we did to y'all. That's what the
Right.
motive
And
is.
so
And that's the motive of the Christianity part
The
too.
Bible, yep, the Christianity part too.
they
Absolutely.
frame the stories in such a way, they frame the narrative in such a way as to achieve an end. We're gonna have to redefine our own narrative.
Right.
Mm.
And that's
And
what
that's our responsibility.
That's true.
yeah.
Mhm.
And that's one of the last things Martin Luther King said to a reporter. They did, I think, I forgot where it was in a church. It was a Channel 2 news report. And they were asking him different things. And they said, well, you know, how do you feel about the young people, you know, doing the revolutionary, you know, you're for peace and they're for this. And he said, well, you know, everywhere you are has a different, and I'm paraphrasing, not quote unquote, but I'm paraphrasing. Everywhere you are has a different tactic. Like the South he had to use a certain tactic in the South. And in the North, he had to use a certain tactic. But he said, but now the way the government is, he said, there's something to those kids, because the whole structure has to be torn down and rebuilt back up in order for us to get a peace. He said, because he said, I realized that all this work that he did, you know, he said, I realized that we're only going to get this much. They're only going to give just enough to, so that when we march in and they give just enough, it's not even stuff that satisfies what the position is, and then that's it, stay there, and then we're satisfied and we go home. You know, he shouldn't be the last person that we look up to as a leader. There should be a Trojan horse. You know, so and that's for America, but as a whole, until we get right, there will be a divide, because the narrative's still out there, and the internet and the way people can piece stuff together, it will still keep us on a divide, you know.
And
but
they got the power to push that message.
And they got a power to push
and
that.
The terrible thing is, one, we don't want to educate, not all of us. We don't, and I'm not saying you even have to, but we don't want to. And then we so quick to look at the next person and say, well,
what are they
if
doing?
if they just, and we have no education on the system that we are born to live in. And it's like, it hurts me when I hear another Black person talk bad about, I mean, for example, George Floyd. Well, if only he had her. And they don't even hear the systematic oppression in their voice. What the fuck are you talking about? He got the goddamn right like everybody else got the right. And then it's not that you know, not only look at what we've been through, but if you can't understand it, or, you know, whatever, just look at the fact of what another motherfucker get over and above you. Look at the court time. Look at the jail time. Look at the sentences. Look at, the fact that, like Martin Luther King said, why are you telling us to pull up up by our bootstrap. You're giving away millions of hundreds of, whatever land to the other people who were coming in here. And then to sit on your high horse and act like you're smarter and you worked harder? Are you fucking kidding me? They got all kind of jobs with titles for 10 goddamn letters, giving these white boys 200,000 goddamn dollars a year. We work hard, we get the degrees, we do this, we do that, and they still ain't gonna pay your ass the same. But back on subject.
But I digress.
I digress and back
it gets passionate, but
yes. Go
so
ahead.
women, what were we taking women and getting together because we're all brown, and
Yes.
yeah, that's what we were talking about, I think.
We trying to, and
We're
then
trying to.
there was also gosh, I wanted to ask Sasha about something. Oh, there was one thing that stood out, and the word was support. Like, we don't all have the same story. God is good. And we do have to get to the chat, Keela. So right after this, I think there's some comments in the chat.
Okay, it is.
But I saw a video where a young white boy had cancer, and so he lost his hair, and they were teasing him. And the teacher shaved all his hair off in solidarity with this boy. And then he gathered all the kids around and he explained what was happening to the boy. And then all the kids were crying and they were sad and they connected and they stopped teasing him. And I thought, well, goddamn it, where the fuck was you when I was getting teased? Where's the connectivity?
Mhm.
So, those coming over here, a lot of foreigners come over, they live together, they build together, they have a culture of togetherness. We have a culture of divide. The light-skinned girl.
No, we don't. I'm going to push back on that because our culture didn't start on this land. And so we have to keep remembering and reaching back for that concept of reaching back for who we were originally.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is that was
spirit.
somebody
Yeah.
else. That's what happened when somebody else
Came in.
Colonizers.
that was an interruption of our culture. What we're experiencing is an interruption of our culture.
Mm.
And we need to keep remembering that. This is
That's
not
good.
Because the
Sasha.
spirit remembers it. The spirit remembers it.
Spirit
It
remembers
does.
it. That's why we get so frustrated with how we are. We're behaving like our masters.
Ooh.
That's how we behave. So when you dig into the roots of who you are now, the question I would have is that, is it one culture or is it different cultures? Is it one other culture, right? It's different cultures.
We are not a monolith, and we've never been.
Okay, because sometimes
we don't have to feel like we have to give up the things that make us different. We're beautiful because we're different. Right? And we've always been that way. We've never been a monolith. And so when Nigerians show up and Jamaicans show up, and like the root is the same, but we've always just been beautifully different. Always.
All right, Sasha.
Even in Africa, like
I tell you about Sash.
Africa has so many languages, so many different cultures, so many different expressions, just that on that one continent. And then we came over to the diaspora and we adapted to our different physical land spaces. And then we continued a lot of those traditions that are underlying. And when we dig deeper, but it might look a little bit different. We use the same foods. Like you'd be like, oh, what do you call that over there? Right?
It's
But
the same
it's like literally the same foods, even when we trace back our languages. Like Americans, yes, speak what we speak. Jamaicans have English, but a different version. We also have patois. Right? And you go to the Carolinas and you'll find the Gullah Geechees and like all these different pockets. And there's some words even in those cultures that trace straight back to Africa.
Girl, you giving me chills.
Girl, I'm telling you.
But so what we're experiencing and the frustration is somebody else's narrative of who we are. And we cannot accept that anymore. We cannot, because that's where the division comes in. It benefits specific cultures when we do not align. And we are going to have to do that work to be like, I know what it looks like on the surface, right?
Mhm.
But we're so much more than somebody else's narrative of us. And what does that look like? We have to decide. And
We
once we
have to.
decide, it
We have
does
to
not
change the
matter
narrative.
what they,
Yes.
whoever they are, do.
Mm.
Once we decide, that's where we come
It's
together.
done.
And
It's done.
It's
We can
done.
do
Once
all
we decide,
things.
it's done. Absolutely.
Yes.
Oh my God. Thank you so much, Sasha. That is what we are
Yes.
here for.
Yes.
Keela, I don't want to
Yes.
ignore the people in the chat. We got 20 minutes. What we got?
Okay. It was one early on. Miss Graves. I don't want to mess up your first name. She was
Jacinia.
saying,
Hey, Jacinia.
she was saying, although we may be Black in different cultures, we have to overcome the mental slavery, no
Mm.
matter what country, until we will never be free. Till then, we'll never be free.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And
Speak.
she's absolutely right.
Yes.
I-
Thank you.
Let me see. Doris was saying, I'm not sure what part she was referring to,
Mm.
but she said their perception and experience is different from ours.
Yeah. Yeah.
We touched on that. Yep.
Yep.
You know, let me see.
Girl, you squinting on camera.
Well, I'm trying to see.
We is at that age.
Right, right.
Miss Johnson, did you have anything you wanted to add real quick?
And I just wanted to just piggyback off of everyone and just say that empathy and communication is so important. Being able to see from through the eyes of someone else, to see what their lived experience and to humanize them,
Yeah.
right? To not look at one culture as more than or less than, but that we're all human beings.
Mm.
We do what we think is right. Sometimes some of us do what's easy, what's comfortable. And like Sasha said, there are those of us who put in the work. We're intentional about being change agents in our families, in our own lives.
Mm.
For us to be able to acknowledge that there's more,
Yes.
and not just settle for someone else's narrative and be that bit player, but become that star in your own life, and to say,
Mm.
this no longer fits me. I'm no longer accepting this. And at that point, who do I want to be? How do I want to be? And then work on becoming that.
Mm.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow. Yes.
You had
Wow.
something to say, Tania? We got about 2 minutes before you're supposed to give us some sort of nutrition.
I just have one. No, I don't have anything else to say like about this topic. I talked about that. Jocelyn dropped the mic on that.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Sasha. We have to have you back, my dear.
Yes.
Thank you for having me.
We have to have you
Thank
back.
you so much. Yeah.
Thank you.
It's been wonderful. And one thing I want to leave out with is be careful of who you get your information from, right? There are people and Black people in America who've built Black institutions to resist negative stereotypes and narratives, written books, documented who we are, traced our lineages, traced our histories, and continue to do that work to this day, right? Be careful where you get your education about self from. And document your own stories in your families. Like there's so many heroes in your families, people who decided that they were going to resist oppression so you could exist today. So you don't have to even look external to your family. Go see your grandmother. If you, wherever she is, go see your grandmother, go see your grandfather, ask the elders in your family. Your own story is so rich. You don't have to look outside of your family to find who the heroes are. And and they are not gonna lie to you. They're gonna tell you your true story. And you know, you're gonna know so much more about yourself that nobody else will be able to define you.
Mhm.
You know what? God is always good. But y'all, I'm telling you, girl, I'm like
Yes, he is.
dancing around here. Tadia, what you got for us tonight?
I just have a tip. I have everybody heard of Indian apples? Do you eat
Mhm.
Indian apples? Okay, what about
Pomegranates.
thank you,
Pomegranates.
Keela.
Oh, okay.
Indianapolis, you know, like the
Indian
States?
apples, they call them in Connecticut.
No, we used to call
Oh,
them Indian apples.
Okay.
Yeah.
Indian apples, pomegranate.
Mm.
Look, they sell it in a
Ooh.
bottle. See
I
this
love
palm stuff? See
Mhm.
this?
Okay. Yeah.
Helps with your blood pressure. If you don't have high blood pressure, it's
Mm.
preventive. Drink some for your pomegranate juice for your blood pressure. Drink it for your digestion. Drink it for cancer prevention.
Okay.
Yeah, because you know we don't. It's all about food and Alzheimer's disease. So if you don't have Alzheimer's, at least it'll
Girl.
your diet probably from your gut, so that your brain fog won't hit. You know.
Girl.
Yeah, that's
Brain-
my tip for today. Pomegranate juice.
Thank you.
Inflammation.
'Cause
Inflammation.
I need that. You hit on all of them. Like I be forgetting shit.
Yeah.
And I'm getting
I
old. What does
started
it do for
incorporating-
wrinkles, bitch? Because I'm trying to
And it's
whatever
concentrated.
I can
so
rub on this mouth.
Indian
You're
apples,
so
they're
silly.
kind of hard to eat. You know, they're annoying to eat. They put that in a bowl. I was so excited to see palm juice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To try because I love a pomegranate now. I buy one, slice it up, and eat them little seeds. Oh, my phone, my thing dropping. But thank you, Tania. We appreciate it. And y'all gonna get some pomegranate. And don't forget her tip last week was what the hell
Coconut-
was it?
was it the
Coconut oil.
Coconut.
Oh,
Camel-
Yeah,
coconut
coconut
oil.
oil.
Sweet.
Yeah, because I started using that.
Yeah.
All right, look at there. See,
Yes.
your tip immediately. But all right, we got about 8 minutes. I don't know if y'all can see this because my camera be acting up, but
Ooh,
was
that
made
is
by-
gorgeous.
y'all see it?
Uh-huh.
Jasmine did
Made
that.
by our shout out tonight, Durations. DERAETIONS. I believe it's in the group. But my daughter made this. And so she made it for the lady Tales.
Jasmine.
I'm
That
gonna
is-
put it on a little wall, you know, get her office together, right? But
That's
she did this, and
gorgeous.
she did another one, and look at and then the back. I love you, Mom.
Oh, for your birthday.
For her, it's my baby.
beautiful.
Yes, her with my first
Oh, that is lovely. She is
and
talented.
so she does custom, paintings and, people who have businesses, they do their thing. And we posted it in the group. So check her out. We got we got 7 minutes. Maybe we can get 2 of them in. I'm going to try this, y'all. Work with me because this was working. But it's like, I can't test it until we live. So let me do this and see if I can't play. Look, who we shouting out again tonight, y'all? Y'all got it in front of you. Smoke Cloud 517.
I think that's what it is, right, Jocelyn?
See, we recruit like a really, really young person for the team who really
No,
is
it's
into tech.
Smoky Clouds 517.
and just want to, somebody who just love to do tech and just want to do, do some stuff. So, okay, this might come through. Can y'all hear that so far? All the interruptions. Okay.
No, I ain't heard none.
You heard nothing? You hear that?
Here we go.
Yeah.
That's Lil Cub. Hey.
Oh, he's handsome. Go, go.
What happened?
It probably was just a snippet.
Just a snippet, just a little taste. If we gotta pay for the rest, huh?
A minute and 25 seconds on this mug.
What that was? What?
That wasn't no minute.
No, that wasn't no minute. You can barely hear it.
Yes.
You
He over
said,
there jamming.
ain't she? And about the only one can hear it.
Oh, damn. What about right here? That's terrible. I want this to be like blast. Okay, let me try this. Let me try this. This supposed to be blasting because even when I was doing OTM busing, like you could hear me over the damn music. That ain't what we want. Hang
I
on.
have to find a way to be able to
How's
put it
that?
in the,
So we can't share it.
You can't hear
yeah,
it?
that's what we're going to have to find a way to be able to share it.
You
Or
still
put
can't
it
hear
in the, you can't hear what he's saying. You can hear a little beat.
Wow.
Post it to the page.
I did. I posted it to the page. Y'all
Oh, okay.
follow it like it's fire. OTM is fire. But
Yeah.
I need to get my steady all together. Let me take this out. Hang on. Because usually, remember how I was playing it in the Healing with Him group? Like y'all can hear it. What about here?
You can share it from your laptop, but you'd have to bring it up on your screen and then hit share screen.
It won't let me share the screen in live. See, we need a little techie, but I've been doing some research. I've been working
Froze up.
in here. At least y'all can see him. Go follow Smoke Cloud 517. He's fire for real if you can hear it. I'm sorry, cuz when I get all this right, I'm gonna replay all the music. We may even have like a music day. You know, we might just have people
Yeah.
on just sharing like new music, new artists, what you do. Cause I met a girl here in Tallahassee, fire. She might be the next Megan Thee Stallion, nigga.
Uh-oh.
I was like, girl, you gave me goosebumps from the start. What happened? So y'all can't hear that.
I mean, you can barely.
Awful. I need to adjust my volume. Oh well.
And we can put his his where you can follow him on the page too.
All right, we'll update the page. We'll play the music when we get the equipment. You know, we just started. We'll be like 3 episodes in.
Mhm.
So is there any way for our guests for for those who are viewing to follow you, Sasha?
Oh yeah, Sasha, your business. What are you doing and how do we follow you and get more information?
You can find me at Suds by Sasha on Instagram and Facebook. SUDSBYSASHA.
Okay.
Hey, everybody follow. I know if I'm not, I will be tonight. And we got 2 minutes. So if y'all can't hear the music, and when I put my baby paper again.
Yeah.
I posted it. Go follow her. Thank y'all for joining us. Thank you so much,
What a
Sasha. And what are we doing next week? Oh, next week we got Doris. Doris speaks life. Because what I'm trying to do, if y'all ain't understanding it, I know, I can be, whatever. It's hard for me to understand sometimes. But anyway, what I'm trying to do is we talked about the word bitch. We moved towards our first experience with bullying or the disconnect. Now we're talking about, our foreign sisters. I want to move into healing and how we can speak life into each other. Because there's even little situations where things happen in the family in the past. And then you say something and it triggers something in somebody else, but that ain't where you was coming from,
Mhm.
So we need to learn how to just continually speak life, into each other.
Mhm.
At all costs, I used to tell my kids, they weren't able to tease each other, at least not around me, because in my family, I was, oh, how's the air up there? I'm tall, I'm skinny, no butt, no hips, whatever, it is what it is. But, and I get it, we can have fun, but in some cultures, you just don't hear it. And you hear it in ours. And instead they speak life. And I don't care how funny looking cousin so-and-so is, you don't hear him saying nothing, but we want to point out each other's flaws as a joke every time we see each other. So we want to start speaking life. And Doris is going to help us, give us some tips on how we can continually speak life into one another. Next week.
Awesome.
All right.
All
That'll
right,
be-
so that is a wrap unless somebody got something. No, it's 8 o'clock. Bye.
Bye.
8 o'clock, bye.
Bye.
Bye, Sasha.
Bye.
Good to see you all.
Good to see you.
Nice to see you too.
I got my computer acting up, so I think I'm just gonna have to